Welcome back to today's video. In this episode, we'll follow a man and his friend as they take on the challenge of building an underground wooden house deep in the forest. Watch how step by step they transform the earth into a hidden home and stay until the end to see the incredible final result. The very first step in building this underground wooden house begins with the foundation. Before any walls or beams can rise, the ground itself must be prepared to hold the weight of the structure. With shovels in hand, he and his friend begin the slow, steady process of digging deep into the earth. Every strike against the soil is deliberate, cutting through layers that have been untouched for years. Bit by bit, the pit takes shape, wide and firm, stretching down until the base is strong enough to support the hidden home they plan to create. This foundation is more than just a hole in the ground. It is the anchor of the entire project. By carving deep into the earth, the house will gain protection from wind, rain, and the shifting seasons of the forest. The soil walls surrounding it will serve as natural insulation, keeping the interior cool during hot days and warm through the cold nights. Once the foundation was complete, they began shaping a staircase that would connect the underground home to the surface. Starting from the bottom, each step was carefully carved into the soil, rising upward toward the light above. With every step shaped, the underground dwelling felt closer to becoming a hidden sanctuary beneath the forest floor. After completing the staircase, they headed back into the forest to cut more wood. With simple hand tools, each log was carefully chosen and sawn to the right size, ready to become part of the structure. With the timber prepared, they moved on to the most important phase, raising the frame of the house. First, they dug deep holes at each corner of the foundation, carefully measuring the spaces to ensure balance and strength. Into these holes, they set thick wooden posts, driving them firmly into the ground so they would stand unshaken by time or weather. One by one, the upright beams took their place, marking the outline of the hidden dwelling. Next came the task of joining the posts together with horizontal beams. Each connection was secured with care, forming a sturdy skeleton that would support the weight of the entire house. The frame was designed with precision, one side standing slightly higher than the other, creating the necessary slope for the roof. This simple yet clever detail would allow rain to run off naturally, protecting the house from water damage and keeping the interior dry. Once the frame was in place, it was time to begin building the walls. To protect the structure from moisture and erosion, they first spread out a large tarp along the earth walls, creating a barrier between the soil and the house. This layer would help prevent the damp ground from weakening the wood over time. With the barrier secured, they started stacking horizontal wooden beams, one layer after another, carefully aligning each piece to form a solid wall. The gaps left between the wooden walls and the surrounding soil were then tightly packed with earth, pressing it firmly to lock everything in place. This not only stabilized the structure, but also added an extra layer of insulation, keeping the inside of the home protected from temperature changes. Through this patient and methodical work, the walls gradually rose around the frame. Each side of the underground house took shape, transforming the once open foundation into a sheltered space. Slowly but surely, what had begun as an empty pit was now enclosed by strong wooden walls, standing firm against the embrace of the earth. After completing the walls, they turned their attention to the roof. To make it sturdy and well protected, they began laying wooden beams closely side by side across the top frame. Each beam was placed with precision, leaving no gaps until the entire roof was tightly covered. With the wooden beams securely in place, the next step was to make the roof fully weatherproof. He carefully spread a large waterproof tarp across the entire surface, stretching it tightly so that no rain could slip through the seams. Once the tarp was set, he began shoveling soil over the top, covering the roof with a thick layer of earth. With the underground structure secured and the roof complete, attention turned to the open section above ground. Here, he began crafting a wooden frame to enclose the exposed wall, carefully measuring and aligning each beam. This frame would serve as the base for a long window, allowing light and air to flow into the underground dwelling. With the frame for the window completed, he carefully crafted glass panels and fitted them into sturdy wooden doors. Each pane was secured within the wooden frame, creating a set of long glass windows that would bring brightness into the underground home. Once ready, he lifted the glass doors and mounted them onto the frame with precision, making sure they opened and closed smoothly. With the installation of these glass doors, the underground house no longer felt hidden away in shadow, but alive with light, warmth, and connection to the world above. Inside the wooden walls, they carefully cut out a square opening, shaping it into a recessed space that would serve as the kitchen hearth. The niche was carved directly into the earth wall, creating a natural built-in cooking area that saved space and kept the interior organized. With steady hands, they trimmed the edges and reinforced the frame, turning the hollowed section of soil into a sturdy and practical stove. To ensure safety and proper ventilation, they then dug a smoke outlet that stretched upward from the hearth to the surface above. The design was simple but effective, using the earth itself as a natural channel for smoke. He laid down thick wooden beams across the base of the foundation, creating a strong platform that would serve as the foundation for the floor. Once the frame was complete, he began placing wide wooden planks across the beams, fitting them side by side until they formed a smooth, even surface. Every plank was trimmed and aligned with care, creating a sturdy floor that not only provided comfort underfoot, but also elevated the living space above the soil. As the last board was set into place, the transformation was striking. Next to the newly finished wooden floor, he began building a raised bed platform. To create it, he first constructed a sturdy base by lifting the foundation slightly higher than the rest of the floor. Once the base was secure, he carefully laid wooden planks across the top, fitting each one tightly side by side. The smooth surface slowly took shape, turning the frame into a proper bed platform. By raising it above the ground, the sleeping area would stay dry, clean, and insulated from the cool earth below. With the wooden floor and bed platform completed, he moved on to the finishing touches that would bring both beauty and durability to the home. Taking a can of varnish, he carefully coated the wooden floor with a smooth, glossy layer. Walking around the house, he gently scattered handfuls of grass seeds across the soil. With time, these seeds would sprout into a soft green carpet. With the house nearly complete, he turned his attention to one final detail, a place to store food. Cleverly using the raised bed platform, he sawed out a neat rectangular section on its surface, creating an opening that led into a hidden compartment below. The cut piece of wood was not discarded. Instead, he carefully fashioned it into a hinge cover, turning it into a secret door that could be lifted and closed with ease. After shaping the hidden compartment, he carefully placed food containers inside the storage space. Container was arranged neatly, ensuring the supplies would stay clean, dry, and well organized. The underground cavity provided a naturally cool environment, keeping the food fresh for longer, safe from insects and animals that roam the forest. To bring warmth and light into the underground dwelling, he carefully installed LED lights along the edges of the walls. The LEDs added a modern touch to this rustic retreat, balancing natural craftsmanship with simple technology. Wanting to make the kitchen even safer and more durable, he carried bricks back to the underground home. Each load was brought in with effort, the weight of the bricks a small price to pay for the strength they would add. Inside, at the hearth that had been carved into the earthen wall, he began carefully stacking the bricks one by one. Layer after layer, a small brick wall rose up around the stove, enclosing the fire within a solid frame. The brickwork not only gave the hearth a cleaner and sturdier look, but also acted as insulation, protecting the surrounding soil and wooden walls from the heat of the flames. With every brick set firmly in place, the cooking area became safer, more efficient, and better suited for long-term use. By the time the last brick was laid, the earthen niche had transformed into a proper fireplace, strong, fireproof, and ready to serve as the heart of the underground kitchen. With the interior nearly complete, he turned his attention to the main entrance. At the front of the underground dwelling, he carefully measured and built a sturdy wooden frame for the main door. Once the doorway was framed, he began crafting the main door that would guard the underground house. From thick, solid planks of wood, he built a heavy door strong enough to withstand wind, rain, and time. Each board was carefully joined together, then reinforced with cross beams to make it sturdy and reliable. With precise movements, he fixed the hinges onto the wooden frame, making sure the door swung open and shut smoothly. To strengthen the entrance and give it a more defined shape, he prepared two sturdy wooden beams outside the main door. Measuring carefully, he set each beam at an angle, crossing them from the top corners of the doorway down to the ground. This cross structure was more than decoration. It added stability to the doorframe, ensuring that the weight of the wooden door would remain supported over time. With the doorway secure, he turned to improve the entrance pathway. At the front steps, he carefully dug along the edges of the staircase, reshaping the soil to give the entry a cleaner, more defined look. Bit by bit, the rough earth was trimmed away, leaving smooth borders that framed the stairway leading down into the underground home. To complete the entrance, he began reinforcing the sides of the stairway. Along both edges, he carefully set tall wooden planks upright, placing them vertically to form a clean, protective border. Each plank was pressed firmly into the soil, standing side by side like a wooden fence guiding the way down. Once the planks were secured, he took his saw and trimmed the tops and edges, cutting away the uneven parts to create a smooth, uniform finish. With the stairway edges now reinforced, he turned his attention to the steps themselves. Carefully, he began laying wooden planks across each step, securing them one by one to form a sturdy staircase. The boards were trimmed and fitted neatly, turning the rough earthen steps into a smooth and reliable pathway. Each plank was fixed firmly in place, strong enough to withstand years of use, yet crafted with care to match the natural look of the house. As the wooden steps took shape, the entrance transformed from a simple dugout path into a proper staircase. With the staircase complete, he moved on to an important task to protect the wood. Taking a container of insect repellent solution, he carefully sprayed it across the wooden planks and beams, coating every surface with a protective layer. Around the entrance, he gave the finishing touches by packing the soil tightly along the edges. With steady hands, he pressed and compacted the earth, reinforcing the ground so it would stay firm and prevent erosion. Each layer of soil was carefully tamped down, locking the stairway and doorway into place. As a final step to secure the underground dwelling, he prepared an additional door for the entrance passage. From thick, solid planks of wood, he built a sturdy panel, reinforced with crossbeams to withstand pressure from the surrounding soil. Once complete, he carefully carried it to the stairway and set it into place at the opening. With precision, he fixed the hinges and aligned the frame, making sure the new door could open and close smoothly. This addition provided an extra layer of protection, sealing off the underground home from wind, rain, and curious animals. Turning back to the long window, he added the finishing touches to make it more complete. Along the edges of the frame, he carefully inserted wooden strips into the small gaps, sealing every opening so that wind and insects could not slip through. Once the gaps were sealed, he turned his attention to the glass itself. With a clean cloth, he wiped the panels thoroughly, removing dust, fingerprints, and the marks left behind from construction. In the kitchen area, he made one final improvement to ensure safety and durability. At the edge of the brick stove, he carefully placed a sheet of aluminum, fixing it neatly along the rim. The smooth metal surface acted as a protective barrier, shielding the surrounding wood and soil from sparks and heat whenever a fire was lit. With the stove completed, he turned to the interior, adding furniture that would make the underground home truly livable. First, he built a simple cupboard fixed against the wall, its wooden frame sturdy enough to hold daily necessities. Next came a clever addition, a folding tabletop. He attached a broad wooden panel to the front of the cupboard with strong hinges. When lifted up, it closed flat, acting as the cupboard's door and keeping everything inside secure. But when pulled down, the panel transformed into a wide, functional table. with that final touch, the underground wooden house is complete. What began as a simple pit in the earth has been transformed, step by step, into a hidden refuge, strong in structure, warm in design, and perfectly blended with the forest around it. From the sturdy walls and roof to the kitchen, storage, and furniture, every detail carries the mark of patience and craftsmanship. And so, this journey comes to an end. Thank you for watching all the way until the finish. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss the next adventures. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next video.